This is skimboarding. Have you ever wondered how a skimboarder floats? Let me explain. First of all, do you know what skimboarding is? You probably know what surfing is. Skimboarding is similar to surfing in that you ride waves, but there are three key differences. First, a skimboard is a lot shorter and thinner than a surfboard. The second, there are no fins on a skimboard. And the third,
when skimboarding, you start your ride by running from the shore to the oncoming waves, unlike surfing, where you start out in the water and paddle for the waves.
Now, back to why you float on a skimboard. You're probably thinking, how the heck am I going to float on such a little thing? There are three main factors:
Buoyancy, acceleration and velocity, and hydrodynamic forces. Buoyancy is the ability of an object to float in a fluid. The deeper an object is, the more pressure there is on the object. Because of this, there is more pressure against the bottom of the object than the top, causing the object to float upward.
This upward force on an object is what tends to make an object float near or on the surface of the fluid.
A skimboard's buoyancy comes from its density. A skimboard is less dense than the water beneath it. Same with humans. The average density of the human body is 1.01 grams per centimeter cubed. The average density of seawater is more, at 1.025 grams per centimeter cubed. Also, water molecules are attracted to one another, creating a strong film at the surface of the water. This is one reason a wave holds its shape, and it helps a skimboard float. Acceleration and velocity are also key when it comes to floating on water.
I, the mass, become a force when I accelerate, which is explained by Newton's second law.
Force equals mass times acceleration. In other words, acceleration equals force divided by mass. Newton's first law states that an object in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by force. This applies to skimboarding. When I accelerate forward and get on my skimboard, I'm moving forward, at the same time being slowed down by an opposing force. In other words, friction and resistance, which can be caused by the water and wind. That is why you have to have enough velocity to overcome friction and resistance, at least until you reach the wave, or hydrodynamic forces.
But we'll talk about that in a few seconds. The reason you float when moving is because you're moving too fast to displace enough water to sink. That is why, the faster you run, the longer you'll slide.
Now, back to hydrodynamic forces. Hydrodynamic forces also play a role in whether you float or not. An objective of skimboarding is to be able to harness the hydrodynamic forces, or waves, and use them to create more velocity, enabling the skimboarder to ride longer. Now that you've learned the science behind skimboarding, here's a clip for you to enjoy.
That's it.